Howdy folks, Jimmy Lee here returning for another review. Today, we are taking a look at the NECA Toys Bad Blood vs. Enforcer Predator 2-pack. Now if you've been following NECA since they launched their Predator line back, I think it was 2010 when Predators released, you would know that they don't really do 2-packs that often anymore. Back when they launched the line, like I said, in 2010, they actually did quite a number of them. A good majority of them were actually Toys R Us exclusives, if I remember. And I think one Comic-Con exclusive? No, I'm probably wrong about that. But this is the first time we're getting one in quite a while. Actually in about, I don't know, 2-ish, 3-ish years. Maybe I'm exaggerating or missing something, but I feel like I haven't had a Predator 2-pack in a really long time. So this is definitely a breath of fresh air. But do you know what isn't a breath of fresh air? When your Predator comes out the box broken. Not only broken, my friends, missing the broken piece. Yep. I will tell you right off the bat, he is missing one of his blades. It snapped off and it wasn't even in the box. I've searched everywhere. I searched in the box. I searched all over the floor, under everything. He did not have it. That is a lot of points to lose, NECA. Okay, that is a lot of points to lose. And Bad Blood does have a couple of other problems which I will be addressing later. Another thing that I want to address is that I actually watched a couple of reviews from I think it was like Pixel Dan and some other big YouTubers just to see if theirs arrived in the same way or had other problems. And man, I gotta say, this is why I don't watch big YouTubers. I stick to smaller YouTubers with just a couple thousand subs or less because God, they just do it for the money and they just praise the figure, and it's clearly visible that the figure has problems, but they won't address it because, well, they need to make money. But luckily, I'm going to be trashing whatever's negative about these guys, but I'll be cool. I'm also going to be, I'll be nice to some of them. Don't you worry, but I'm definitely not going to lie. So, let's get into the review. Okay, so let's take a look at the box, and I apologize if you can hear a dog barking in the background. My neighbor's dog really wants something to say. Again, we get a really cool background. I think, I'm trying to see, yeah, it looks like it's Bad Blood on this side, Enforcer on that side, with thermal vision all around them, and that's just really cool looking. Again, I like to display the figures with the background on my shelf. I think it's cool. Anyway, it does say Bad Blood and Enforcer here, and it's really pretty and reflective, and you got some nice comic artwork from both of them, which looks really nice. I definitely dig it, and you can kind of see the background there. The side of the box just has a little, I guess, toy photography of Bad Blood with a mini description there, which is pretty rad. It shows all the accessories and in a comic panel, which I think is, it's nice of them. And here is toy photography for Enforcer, looking very lovely. Again, there are the accessories, pretty cool. Top of the box, nothing really fancy. Bottom of the box, nothing fancy, but the back is pretty cool looking because again, they put it in that comic book panel style. Bunch of toy photography for the figures, which look really nice. I know I might be spending too much time on the box, but I don't know. They put a lot of work into making these look really nice, posing them, so I want to feature it, and they look really cool. So yeah, and there are the other figures, comic figures specifically, that you can get. I'm trying to see which one. I think I have all of, yeah, I think I have this entire line. Sweet. Oh, and if you would like to, there's a description of the characters, so you can pause and read that now. Alright, so the first one we are going to check out would be the Enforcer Predator. Luckily, I don't think this guy has any QC issues. I'm going to definitely find out when I start articulating him again. But from when I opened him and messed around with him, he seemed okay. So that's nice, and this is just a really nice figure. Both these figures are 2.0s, or upgrades from their predecessors, which didn't have as much articulation or detail or accessories. So it's nice to, have an updated version, especially ones that come with extra head sculpts, because each one comes with a helmeted and unhelmeted version, which is always nice, so you can get that full effect just like from the comics. Speaking of the biomasks, let's take a look at his accessories. I'm going to try and be brief because I do have 2 figures to review in one video. He does come with his combi stick right here, which has pretty good detail. It's pretty much the same as any other combi stick that other Predators have come with. It is a very, very reflective silver, but there are some paint blotches. I don't know if those are intentional or not. I think they actually look cool, kind of like stained or battle damage. You know, it looks like it's been through combat, which is nice. So, and it is a little bendy, so be careful. And these tend to break off if, you know, your figure falls over. So be gentle, make sure that your figure is stable, because like I said in my other reviews, these tend to like to break on me. So, mainly when they fall. So, I will know better this time. He does come with his smart disc right here. Again, a very reflective silver. Pretty nice looking. There's the other side. Good detail for a really, really small accessory. So, and again, pretty much the same as the other ones. So, nothing new there. And he does come with an extra hand, so he can hold his combi stick. Some pretty good detail in there, by the way. I mean, this is something a lot of people skip over, are the hands, and if you really look at it, they put a lot of skin detail and paint on these. I mean, there is no bleeding, no paint blotches anywhere. It's just crisp and super duper detailed, so I think that's nice. Now, he does come with a biomask that you cannot put on him. It is just meant for him to hold. And I'd say it looks pretty good. It is a very, very flimsy plastic. I mean, you can even tell by the sound, but it is really detailed in there especially. So, pretty nice looking. And he does have a hand that he can hold it in, which is just a relaxed one right over here. So, which I'll show in a second. And lastly, he does come with the masked version. Again, a pretty good sculpt. I really, really like it. I like the purple effect they have going on for the eyes there. You can see the laser, pretty nice looking. You can see a little bit of skin from the head there, a nice pinkish purple with some dots, and even under it, even like here under the neck, it has some skin detail. That's pretty cool. And the dreads, again, individualized, which is always nice, and they are manipulative like other Predators. And the locks, or I always call them locks, they're clips, are all gold. And like I said, you can take the helmet and just place it in his hand. You kind of have to work with it a little bit, but pretty much he'll hold it like this, and I think that looks super duper cool. Let me go ahead and adjust the camera for you guys. I think that looks awesome. I might display him like this because I do have the other Enforcer Predator and he's masked and he didn't come with an unmasked head sculpt, so I can have 2 of them, and I think that looks pretty sweet. Technically, another accessory that he does come with is the plasma caster or the shoulder cannon. I don't know if I really consider this an accessory because it's like integral to the figure. You can't have a Predator without this. So yeah, like I mentioned before, pretty much a repaint of the Jungle Hunter or many different Predators that come with this, only a very reflective silver, and like most Predators, just place it on him. Don't be afraid to get rough because they tend to slip off and you really want to apply some force so that they don't slide off, but this one's pretty good about it. You just gotta work with it a little bit. And if you want to interchange the hands, just twist this one off. It comes off pretty easy, I'd say. And go ahead and put the other one on. Again, you have to kind of twist it on, and then because the hands are kind of like rubberized in a way, just move the fingers apart like this and place the combi stick inside. And there you have it. He is holding it, which, you know, holds it pretty well. One thing I will mention is that, oh, yeah, this is actually the hand that he can hold the smart disc with. I was about to say he doesn't come with a hand for the smart disc, but he was already, so there you go. So now he is basically fully equipped and ready to kick ass, and I think it looks pretty cool. Again, I'm probably going to display him with him holding the biomask because I think that just looks cool with any Predator, but it's cool that he comes with everything else and the appropriate hands to hold them, because if you watch my previous reviews with the arcade Predators, I think it was Hunter who didn't come with a hand for the smart disc, and yet he came with the smart disc, and that kind of pissed me off a little bit, but you, sir, do not disappoint. Alright, so let's get into some detail. I'm going to go ahead and remove the shoulder cannon because it kind of likes to fall off when I articulate, but check out that head. That is crazy detailed. I'm trying to get a good angle on the eyes there. They are painted really nice. They're not smeared or anything. Great color. Even the eyelids have shading, which is really, really cool. And the skin detail in general, especially on the outside of the mandibles here, how it kind of wrinkles up, is just so cool. And I wouldn't call this exactly a closed mouth. He's kind of like in the middle of speaking, which I think is pretty cool. And just the paint, man, it's great, especially here on the top. Got the purple, black here, even a subtle blue surrounding the edge of the scalp, I guess, is just really cool looking. So yeah, I'm definitely displaying him with this head on. And the locks are pretty much the same as what I showed you with the biomask head. So very cool looking. And the rest of the figure, it looks familiar. It's because it is. It is practically a repaint of the Ultimate Edition Jungle Hunter, the latest version. And it's a great mold, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's articulated, it's detailed, it's fantastic. The netting, the fishnets are sculpted on. And I like how they just didn't leave this I guess a chrome silver or a reflective silver. It does have shading on it to make it look like he has been in combat, which is nice. Got these leather straps here looking pretty sweet. The skin is excellently detailed with a bunch of different colors. Like I said, the purple, the blue, even have two shades of, I guess you can call it a yellow, which is nice. It's darker here on his stomach. Pretty nice. Here's the arm and the blades, which, like the Jungle Hunter, can extend and retract, and like most predators, they are pretty fragile, so just be careful that you don't accidentally break them off. And his wrist has really, really nice detail too. So, got the hand there, the fingernails are painted, the inside has like a subtle bluish, greenish, I don't know how it looks on camera, but that's nice looking. And here is the other one. Again, got some shading and some scratches and scrapes to make it look worn. The wires on mine have yet to rip, which is lovely because they tend to do that on some of my predators. And of course, it wouldn't be a Jungle Hunter mold if this could not open. So that's always nice. Yeah. And got his underwear here, which is a rubberized material, like most predators. Got the smart disc holder, which itself has a lot of detail. Right there. More of his skirt. And I always appreciate that they don't just, you know, plop on a piece of plastic or a piece of rubber. It actually has wrinkles in it, make it look like clothing, which is pretty cool. The joints here even are painted to make it look like they're part of the leg. I mean, up here, not so much. Oh, actually, yeah, I mean, I guess I could have used a little bit more paint to match this purple element here, but I think it's fine. And got the legs here. Pretty neat. Again, with that armor, so cool looking. Lots of scratches, lots of detail. Always appreciate it. Got the back there. And his feet. Which, now, okay, here's one thing that I will complain about. It doesn't really bother me that much, but he got a fat foot. Right here. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I'm doing my best, but yeah. He got a chubby little foot here. Something obviously went wrong with the sculpt. You can hardly notice it. It's really only when you take a super close look that you can see it is swollen. But, you know, what can you do? Man, that kind of sucks. The peg hole is shrunken, but there you go. There he is. Oh, almost fell. Caught him. Yeah, he likes to fall forward sometimes. Probably my fault, but yeah, so lots of detail. Okay, so let's get into articulation and then we'll move on to comparisons. His head, without the shoulder cannon, by the way, can move up that much, can go down that much, can wobble and rotate all the way around. It's on a pretty solid ball joint. This shoulder can move out that much, go in that much, and it can fully rotate, though I don't really recommend it. Upper bicep cut, a double jointed elbow. There you go, Marvel Legends females, please take a note. And the wrist, I don't want to fully rotate it because of the blades, but they can fully rotate as well as go out and in. This side's a little bit hindered, obviously, because of the extra shoulder armor, but it can go kind of far out. You got to work with it and in that much. And the wires here, so you don't want to go forward too far, but it can go back pretty far. Again, with the double jointed elbow, just be aware that he does have the wire there. So, just a heads up, and just to prove it, he can rotate fully. He has that amazing ab articulation with the two joints. I'm just gonna move them all the way around. It's kinda, mine is kinda limited up here. I think that's just because of the paint, but it can pretty much do what other Ultimate figures with this ab articulation can do. I don't know why mine stuck. It was working earlier. I don't know. I don't want to force it, but take my word on it. The legs on ball joints, so it can move forward that much, back that much, and he can do a Predator split. He does have an upper thigh cut and a double jointed knee, and the stumpy foot can go for not too much, but back quite a bit, can fully rotate and has ankle pivot. So he has a lot of articulation for a Predator. It's a pretty good mold. Again, I don't know why that was stuck on me. That's odd, but yeah. So Enforcer is a solid figure. Alright, and here he is next to Enforcer 1.0. Quite an old figure, as you can tell. He does not have double jointed elbows, nor does he have that updated ab articulation, but he does have the ball joints in the thigh area. So, and he didn't have as much paint detail. Obviously, their skin color is radically different. He's, I think, even a bit taller than this one, and he's not even crouched down. But, yeah, there you go. Two of them. He didn't really come with much. He was a single-carded figure, so no unmasked head. He may have come with a combi stick. I don't know. He's not displayed with it. It's in my accessories bag, but here is the back of the 1.0 and the back of the 2.0. You can tell that overall this is just a better sculpt. He's more proportionate, whereas this one's a little bit stumpy, but I still really like this figure, like all my lovely Predators. I'm pretty sure, actually, that the shoulder cannon is the same. Oh no, it's actually different. This is a complete like chrome silver, whereas this has some shading. So they are painted slightly different, but they are the exact same mold. And as for size comparison, here he is next to the battle damaged Jungle Hunter from the film Predators, and next to the Comic-Con exclusive Cloaked Scar. And if you want me to get really nerdy about it, he stands at approximately 8.5 inches. Alright, now onto the big guy, the Bad Blood Predator. Gonna give you guys a quick 360. Unlike Enforcer, he does have QC issues. Surprise, surprise. I will try to be as light as possible, but expect a mini rant, because that, I've learned, is kind of my thing on this channel when it comes to certain NECA products. But besides that, he is a really nice figure. There isn't too much of a difference between him and the 1.0. They're actually fairly similar from what I remember, but we'll get to that whenever I do a comparison. As far as accessories go, he comes with a lot of stuff, most of which I'm pretty sure is just a reuse from the previous Bad Blood figure, but I'm sure it is painted differently. Anyway, let's start with the main event, which is something the original Bad Blood did not come with, which is the biomask version. So finally we get a Bad Blood with his proper mask, and it looks fantastic. Like, just check out the paint. It is fantastic. You have a lot of cracks, a lot of scrapes, a lot of scuffs. It's just really nice. You have a ton of shading all around in the crevices of the helmet. Really, really good looking. A nice glossy black for the eyes there. This one's actually a little bit cracked there, which is nice looking. You can even see kind of an eye in there in a way. And it's just fantastic looking. You do have the wire, which is supposed to connect to the Predator, but if you've been collecting them, you know they don't really like to stay on. So you can see that some of the scalp and the jaw skin on it is sculpted, or both sculpted and painted well. There you go. And the dreads are very, very nice, with the clips being gold, much like the Enforcer Predator. So it is a fantastic accessory, and I'm probably going to display him with this one. If you would like to put it on, be very careful because he does have the open mandibles and they tend to break off if you are too rough. So just start twisting the head off very carefully. Okay, got that off, and now just place this on him. Okay, and there he is. And as you can tell, he looks infinitely more badass now. Even though I do like this head here, I technically kind of already have this head, or a slightly different version on the original Bad Blood, so the fact that we get a biomask version makes him just a hell of a lot cooler, and there's a close-up of him. So damn neat. And this is like radically different than any Predator helmet we've had. I mean, most of the Predators that we get these days, yes, they're fairly different, but not to this extent. Like, this is just completely new, so that's always nice. Alright, we're going to move this aside. Let's take a look at this, which is a completely new accessory for any Predator ever made, and that is an open and electrified smart disc. Look at that. That is so flippin' cool. The underside is just silver with I think a black wash or black shading. That's nice looking, but man, finally, we've been needing this, because in the comics, in any Predator medium, they do this. So that's nice looking. And he can hold it. He does come with a hand right over here on his right to equip it. Alright, and there you go. And yes, I know, I'll get into that in a minute. But he holds it fairly well, you know, like any Predator. I'm sure you can fit another finger or two in there. I just did it caveman style, but he holds it very well. So that is super cool. Again, an accessory we haven't had before, and it's always nice to get new things with new Predators. Okay, let's move on to his spear here, which I'm sure is a reuse of the spear mold from the previous Bad Blood, but it is nice looking. You do have a nice chrome silver here with a little bit of black wash, and the actual handle is pretty nice looking. Got some detail in there. Very flimsy. I mean, you can easily break this, so just be careful that he won't fall over. And for some reason, he likes to fall over. I don't know. Gotta get a stand for him. But his legs aren't even that loose. He's just dumb. But yeah, and you actually can holster this on his back here. You can tell that there is a little, I guess you can call it a strap in a way. And what you would do is you really got to force it in because the opening is tight, but eventually you will be able to get it in. And I think it looks pretty cool. Let's get a background shot here. It looks cool, I think. I'll definitely display him with it like this, because I kind of want to display him primarily with the machete here, which I'll get in a second. But yeah, so it stays pretty nice. And of course, if you put any of these hands on him, you can get him to hold it, and might as well just show off the hands. Pretty detailed, lots of skin detail, lots of paint, so that's nice looking. Since we are on the subject of the hands, he does come with an open palm hand, which we get with a lot of Predators now, and a relaxed one for holding a mask or a smart disc, but I'm actually going to interchange these now to show you how he looks with him holding the spear. Alright, there we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove the spear here. And again, it'll kind of fight you back because, again, it has a tiny opening. Really what you got to do is just keep twisting it off, and eventually it'll pop off for you like it is right now. Just be careful not to break it. Yeah, and pretty much you can get him to hold it in either hand. This one's a little bit loose, but it can work. But really, he's meant to hold it in this hand here. And there you go. And I think that looks super cool. You can get him to hold it really high. Pretty high. I mean, the shoulder likes to hinder. The shoulder pad, I mean, but man, that looks badass. Let me get a better angle on that. I'm sorry if this review is like really long, but I like to take time with my figures and just mess around with them. So that looks badass. And you can put the machete in that hand as well. Here is the machete, or a sword rather, and it is bloodied. Well, you know what I was about to say? I was about to say that the blood looks fake, but I keep forgetting this is a comic-inspired figure. So in that respect, this actually works really, really well. And there it is. There is the handle here. It has a taped grip, which is nice, and a bone down there, which is pretty badass looking. And all you do is get him to, whoops, careful with those blades, just pull this out, be very gentle. Now here it's a little tough because you do have to move the fingers apart to get the sword in because of the bone handle down here. And there you go, and I think that looks super, super cool. I really, really dig this look. Definitely going to display him with the sword, with the spear holstered on his back, but man, that looks badass. So cool looking. Oh, I'm gushing over it. I'm nerding out too much, but you know why I'm nerding out? Because of the rest of all this stuff. He does come with a dreadlock that he pulled off of a Predator in the books, kind of just ripped it out of its scalp. You can't really get him to hold this in his hand. I mean, I guess in a way you can hold it. He can hold it in this hand, but it's very loose. It's just meant to be like a little thing, I guess, to put next to him, but I mean, you can kind of like stuff it in his underwear, I guess, but it's just nice to have, and there's actually some pretty good detail in there, so that's nice. And he does come with a pair of skulls from different creatures that he has killed. Really nice paint on them, got some shading there, very cool looking. Even the teeth are painted, and it has a pliable like little piece of wire there. And I mean, really it's up to you on how you want to put this on your figure. What I like to do is I like to pull this piece a little bit forward and then stick the skull underneath, and there you go. So it stays pretty nice, you know. It's definitely cool looking. Obviously I'm going to display him with this because that is just too badass looking. So there you go. And you can also do the same with these human heads. He can either hold these, again it's kind of loose, but really you can do the same thing as these, just hook them on. But take a look at those heads there. Having trouble focusing, sorry. That is super cool looking. You could see all the blood and all the wrinkles and everything. The hair is sculpted nice. The bloodied ear. I think you can, yeah, they even have some teeth there with some blood. The eyes are pitch white. And the back are very meaty with some brain actually sculpted in. I just noticed that. So, yeah, and like I said, you can just get them to hook on. Really, it's up to you where you want to put it. I just kind of place it wherever. Kind of place one here on the side, and then one up at the front, and then the skulls here on the other side. And you can tell straight off the bat that this is not a Predator you would want to F with. He will kick your ass. And I know I spent a lot of time with accessories here, but he did come with a lot, and I think it's important to show them really show them in detail, and then how they actually look on the figure. But yeah. If you're wondering if you can holster the sword, I don't believe you can. I haven't really tried. I seriously doubt the bone handle will fit through this, and I'm not really interested in experimenting only to break the sword. So, yeah, and anyways, I'm going to display him with it on in his hand. So, There he is, a total and complete badass. Alright, now let's get into the detail. I decided to switch it back to the unmasked head because I already showed you the biomask in detail, but now let's take a look at this one. Obviously this is an open mandible head, which looks great. You can tell there's a ton of detail inside the mouth, the gums, the teeth are painted beautifully. It's really, really nice. Got a really dark yellow here all around the exterior of the mandibles, which look fantastic. Some great paint detail here on the sides as well. Got the blotches of kind of a pink and a little bit, whoops, one of his heads fell off, and a little bit of a purple. He does have a ring right here, right above his eyebrow, which I think looks badass. And the eyes are, or the pupils rather, are red, kind of like how you saw here on this one. You can see the eye right there. It's kind of tough to see, but yeah. And I like these spikes all around the scalp. They look fantastic, and they're pretty pointy. So don't cut yourself. And here are the dreads, which are pretty much the same as the other ones I showed you. So yeah, those are nice. Now let's get to the body, which is where a lot of the action goes on. He does have a ring here on you know what area. I won't say it, but there it is. And the fishnets, again, are sculpted on with a ton of skin detail, a lot of wrinkles, a lot of just skin folding on each other. It's fantastic. It's tough to see because of all these, you know, different varieties of colors, but he does have abs and pecs as well, like most predators. There's the back here with the armor, which is kind of a brown and burgundy. It's probably appearing more red, if anything, on camera, but it is kind of a mix of brown and burgundy in person, and it looks fantastic. And there you have, like, I guess you can call these spines from another creature, which look great. Lots of shading in there. Fantastic. And here is probably the best part of this figure, and it is a predator skull mounted on his left shoulder. The dreads are a very hard plastic. You can't move them around, which is, you know, doesn't bother me. But man, look at all that. That is fantastic looking. So definitely a highlight of this figure. And careful not to break these off, because when you're articulated, you can actually bump into them. So be wary. Here is his forearm gauntlet. Got another bone right there, right under it. And some really bright purple here, actually. So, and this can open, like most predators these days, which is nice. Got some good detail in there. And the hands are, again, painted excellently and kind of glossy compared to the rest of the figure, actually. But that's nice looking. And here is the other sides with the freaking broken blade that wasn't even in the packaging. That's so stupid, NECA. You guys suck for that, but got another bone there. The blades themselves have some black shading on the silver coat. I don't know what was on this one. Frickin' NECA, but yeah, and the hand again. So they can extend and retract. Be careful. I really don't want to break another one. So I didn't break it to begin with, but I don't want another one to break off. Yeah, moving down on the figure, I kept these accessories on, but he does have this little skirt piece, which you can manipulate around the figure. The City Hunter had it, I believe. The Smart Disc holster, which again has a lot of detail in there. He's got some squishy butt, but not gonna lie, good paint. Got some butt wrinkles there. And moving down, I kind of like this pattern they have going on here at the back of the thighs. That looks cool. Got the armor there as well. And these pieces are manipulative. And he has skulls from different creatures on his knees. Like I said, this is not a predator that you would like to mess with. He is stone cold killer and a complete badass in the comics. Got some spines right there. And his feet are kind of like a leopard, in a way. Definitely detailed with all the wrinkles and stuff, but yeah, they kind of have like a leopard cheetah style going on here. And he does have peg holes, since sometimes he don't want to stand for me. Alright, so let's get into some articulation now. The head is kind of loose on mine. Not like it's tight, but it can come off easy. So just be careful. It can move up pretty far. So there you go. And down very far, actually. And can move side to side and just go all over the place. So you kind of have to work with it. This arm, because of the giant predator skull, does get hindered a little bit, but that is okay. Can go in that much and can do a full 360, though I don't really want to do that. And he does have an upper bicep cut and a double jointed elbow. Again, Marvel Legends females, take notes. And the wrist can fully rotate as well as go out and in. So yep, he does have that amazing ab articulation. There's the first joint and then the second joint. So he can go all over the place. Always love that. As I've stated, this is a pliable material, so the leg can go forward that much and back that much because of the rubberized butt. And he can do these splits. Now here's kind of a weird thing. Another defect, his legs are a tiny bit crooked, if you can tell. It's really not too big of a deal. It doesn't really hinder him in any way, but I don't know why that happened. Whew. Anyway, double jointed knee, which is always cool. And another head fell off. They like to do that. And an upper thigh cut, by the way. And his feet can go forward that much, back that much, and does have ankle pivot. So he has a lot of articulation. By the way, this can go out that much and in, and it is hindered because of this shoulder piece. But he has a ton of articulation, considering all these pieces that are stuck on him. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, let's get into some comparisons. And here he is next to the original Bad Blood Predator, the 1.0, if you will. And there are some significant differences, mainly in the skin detail. You can tell this is primarily a yellow and little tints of like pinkish red all around him, some black, while this one has the purple going on. So, yeah. And obviously, no double jointed elbows or the extra ab articulation, but he does have the ball joints in the thighs. And his blades here are actually fully bloodied, and he does have some battle damage. So, that's very cool. While as this one here, he fell a little bit. Doesn't. So, yeah. And also the blade on this one is different, or the sword. It is practically like, I wouldn't say covered in blood, but it is silver with like a very, very, very light red shading, whereas this one's just like blotches of blood. So, and it's very reflective silver. So some differences, and again, I really like this figure. I think he was good for his time, and really he isn't that old. They only recently started doing the extra ab articulation and double jointed elbows. So he was a great figure. He still is a great figure, but now I'm just glad that A, I can have one with more articulation, and B, one with the extra biomask. And here he is next to the Concrete Jungle Predator and the 2.0 version of the Elder Predator. And he's bigger than Elder but smaller than Concrete, obviously because he's an AVP mold. And if you want me to nerd out, I will in fact measure this feller, and he, like Enforcer, is about 8.5 inches tall. And there you go, folks. Bad Blood and Enforcer. Whew, this is going to be a long video. I can tell you that much. Probably around 40 minutes, but who knows, maybe I'll cut out a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Do I recommend these figures? Hell yeah, they are freaking amazing. I mean, check that out. Bad Blood himself is completely worth buying the 2-pack, and this Enforcer is just really amazing looking. So, and they each come with a bunch of different accessories, their biomasks, everything. It's great. I adore this set. Yes, he does have QC issues, but look, it's NECA. just know that when you buy a figure, expect there to be some problems. But it doesn't completely kill the figure. I still would have bought this a second time. It is just an amazing set, and I really, really hope NECA keeps doing more 2-packs, because again, I like the whole just get 2 in 1. It's easier, it's a lot more fun, it's just better. But yeah, you know, if they keep doing single carded stuff more than 2-pack stuff, fine by me. I'm not too picky, but if they get the opportunity to do another 2-pack, NECA, if you're watching, go for it. So what did you think of this Predator 2-pack? Will you be passing on it? Will you be picking it up? Let me know down in the comments below. And as I've said before, I don't ask people to subscribe anymore or to like the video or to share it. I just want everyone to comment. I find that a hell of a lot more necessary than subs, because I think for a channel like this, interaction is key. So definitely let me know. Even if you want to make fun of my ugly head or my mangled hands or whatever, leave a comment below, because I'm gonna reply to you. There isn't a comment that I never reply to. Alrighty, fellas. Go check out the Sanctuary on Facebook, a lovely group of collectors. All of those collectors' YouTube channels can be found in the description provided. And we do a toy show every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Sanctuary group channel, which is also linked down below, so definitely go check them out. And as always, people, have a good morning, evening, midday, whatever, and take care.